That's why you gotta stop by the newest Caterpillar Vapes location right here in Lincoln, 2601 North 11th Street. The Caterpillar team is made up of people just like you, wanting the best product at the best price. They can walk you through the largest selection in town, answer any questions, and find you that perfect balance. First-time customers get 50% off their entire purchase. Stop in and see for yourself. For more, find them on Facebook or online at CaterpillarVapes.com.
Welcome to Riffin with Raff and AD. Coming to you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Now here's former Huskers, Chris Raff and Aaron Davis.
All right. Guess what? We are back. Riffin with Raff and AD. It's Wednesday night. It is the quickest 2 hours of the week. AD, what is up, my brother?
Oh, we played golf today, man.
Oh, yeah, I did too.
A lot of golf today.
It might have been 18 holes.
Where'd you play at, man?
I played at Hillcrest Country Club.
It was you, Jack Russell, Nick Toronto, Taylor May, Steve Taylor.
Yeah, some quarterback, number 9.
Was it fun?
It was a good time.
It was a good time.
Yep. Mike Brown out there and Sonia and those guys out at Hillcrest, they always put on a pretty good show.
They're solid at Hillcrest, man. I was at the country club today, man, playing with Mike Steele. Shout out to Mike Steele that brought me out there to play today. Big Leo came out with us, and also Matt Palmberg, man. So it was a good time. CCL does a great job. Nick and those guys at CCL do a great job. Course looked crazy. I mean, it was just like stupid good.
Did you win? Did you win?
We ain't gonna go there.
All right.
We ain't gonna go there. All of my business. All of my business.
I like to question. You know? I like to ask the hard-hitting questions.
It was a good time, man. It was a good time. You know what, folks? Tonight we always try on Riffin and Raff. What we try to do. First of all, we're always going to talk about coming to America. So our two guests, Kim and Elton, I'm gonna let you guys right now. We always try to find a theme. And Harrison's so young. You know, he's too young before Coming to America even came out. But we always try to find something that deals with a line from Coming to America, like That Boy Good, you know, something like that. So we always try to find something good with it. But tonight, folks, we always try to find things for the community and always bring awareness, if you would. And we have two great guests with us this evening. We have the one and only Kimberly Goins. And Kimberly is the executive director of the Boys and Girls Club of Lancaster County. We have I'm not saying no, it's E-Money. It's E-Money. He just looks smooth though. He looks like no, not Denzel. That's Wesley Snipes right there of the Boys and Girls Club.
Ooh, I like
Kim, am I lying or not?
You are correct.
That's Wesley Snipes of the Boys and Girls Club. But Kimberly Goins, executive director of Elton Edmonds, CEO Mentoring Plus Episode Goals. Ladies and gents, how you doing tonight?
Good. We're doing well. Thank you for having us on, you guys. This is exciting.
Absolutely. I like that shirt. Boys and Girls
in
in safe places and coaching and teamwork. I love it.
That's right.
I love it. I love
what
it.
We're all about.
I love it. Kim, why Nebraska? That's one of my first questions. Okay, you've traveled all over, you and Tony Goins, the economic director of the state of Nebraska. You guys have been all over. You had several places you could be at. Why did you choose Nebraska?
Oh, wow. So let me ask you this. Have you had Tony on yet?
No, but we're going to.
Okay, great.
We always go with the best to start
well,
with.
Thank you. Because traditionally what happens, he goes on first, and then I'm asked that question, and then I have to kind of manage the answer. But since I'm going first,
that's right.
Make sure you guys help him manage it. So the long and short of it, we came here because he had a great opportunity for employment here. He used to be with a really large banking institution out of New York, and as we looked to, slow down our lives a bit as we were winding down kids out of our home, yay to the empty nesters. He got a head hunting firm called him up. He came here. So that's how we got here. Why we stayed is because of the people. Yeah. The people, without question, this community has been the most welcoming, the most generous, the most loving and supporting community we've ever lived in.
Kim, you mentioned why you stayed here, and you got 5 years now?
Since 2015. So
we're going on 7 years now.
Yeah.
Going on 7 years this year.
Yes.
And you know what, Kim, one thing we joked about it, but seriously, when you have a husband like yourself, and just like yourself, that's very prominent in community, that does a lot, that's on a lot of boards, etc., serving. My dad being a pastor.
For sure.
I know how that is to where, the pastor's wife, if you would, with that same type of, exposure, etc. So I always want to make sure I talk to the lady first, get the wife up there and do that, because I know a lot of times people say Anthony Goins, but if there's no Kim Goins, Anthony has a lot harder time.
That's right. I tell people he's the head, I'm the neck.
There you
I
go.
Control
As my dad would say, praise God. Hey, man, Sister Goins. Kim, I love that. Elton, tell us your story. How did you get to Nebraska? First of all, you got two great athletes. Two great sons that play. You got an amazing wife. They gave an amazing presentation a couple weeks ago at Capitol Cigar Lounge. And you guys are just, it's like you're yin and yang. You guys are just like together like that. But what brought you guys to Nebraska?
Yes, thanks for asking, Aaron. So I'm actually grew up in Omaha, Nebraska.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that I'm excited about, helping with Mentoring Plus and also partnering together with Boys and Girls Club, is that over 40 years ago, I was the kid that we're trying to help. So over 40 years ago, I was the kid, grew up in North Omaha, faced a lot of same challenges that kids face today.
Yeah.
Poor community, not a lot of role models. But again, I ended up graduating from high school, graduated from college, and truly my life changed in ways that I never thought would be possible. So for me, growing up here in Nebraska, it's one of the things that I just enjoy, is being able to pour into the life of our youth here and help them again to change their lives.
That involvement, and I don't want to skip ahead. I don't want to skip ahead with the importance of the involvement. I want to get to, a lot of people don't know what a lot of you guys and gals do with the Boys and Girls Club. So kind of highlight, we're talking about mental health awareness as well. Oh, you're fine. Mental health awareness. Discuss the 15-year anniversary of the Boys and Girls Club and the milestone, what that means to the community. 15 years here in Lancaster County.
Absolutely, 15 years. And you know what, really looking forward to the next 15 years. And when you compare us, for example, to even our friends up in Omaha, right down the road, we actually tell people they're our grandparent because they're 60 years old. So we're really just getting started. But we were founded in 2007 by some very dynamic community leaders who really wanted to make a greater impact on this community. And part of that impact was really centered around how do we make sure that everyone has access to high quality and high impact programming. And so that's what we do. Matter of fact, it's the only thing we do. We are the leaders in youth development programming. And that's not just here in Lincoln or the state of Omaha, it's really across the country. So when you look across the U.S., including tribal land as well as military bases, 450,000 kids walk through our doors every day.
How many?
450,000 kids walk through the Boys and Girls Club.
450,000. So basically, we're just going to say 500,000
every day. Every day. That's the impact.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. You know, some people may not know a lot about the Boys and Girls Club, but you just mentioned basically 450,000 kids every day. What's some of the misperceptions that people may have about the Boys and Girls Club?
You know, I think the misconception that I battle with the most, even here at the local level, we talk about it a lot at the national level, it's who our kids are. Right? Because people will label you, especially when they don't understand what it is that you do. Right. And so oftentimes people say, but aren't you guys only taking care of the bad kids? You know, are the poor kids only, or the kids that don't have parents? Right. And what I like to share is that's actually the furthest from the truth. Do some of our kids live in poverty zones that are identified by the federal government? Yes. Do some of our children have IEPs to make sure that they have the supports in place to make sure they can thrive in school? Yes. But what I always say is this. If you send your kid to the Boys and Girls Club, we will produce a great product on the other end. We're about equity. So our mission statement is that we exist to empower all youth to reach their full potential. And I think that's important, especially in this social media age.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can have a 2-parent household that is healthy, church going, and still have a student or young person who gets some negative influence from social media, from their peers, etc. And so I think it's the misconception that's most out there is, who are our kids?
You know, and Raff, I'll let you go with the next one here. I'm thinking about this. I hear people say this all the time. Oh, Mr. Davis, you don't understand. When I go speak in high school and colleges, he's at risk.
Yes.
Oh, Mr. Davis, you don't understand. Yes. She's at risk. Elton, all kids are at risk. I don't care if you come from a 2-bedroom, not 2-bedroom, 2-parent household, or, you know, regardless of what social economic status, regardless of what it is, all kids are at risk today. Because Kim, you mentioned something with social media, with these cell phones, these tools right here, they have access to so much that we had growing up. Elton, how do you guys at the Boys and Girls Club just kind of dispel that myth that these are the only at-risk kids? And just as Kim mentioned, the poor kids or this kid from the single parent, all kids are at risk. How do you guys deal with that?
Yes. Well, I think one of the important things that I'm here today and just thrilled to be able to share about is our partnership with the Boys and Girls Club. So with Mentoring Plus, you guys as national championship football players and as football players here.
He was preaching. He was preaching. Yes, sir.
Take it to the house.
See, we laid back here, y'all, so it's all good.
This is what I'm talking about.
But Elton was getting into it.
But you guys as athletes, you understand the importance of teamwork.
Absolutely.
And it's great to partner with Kim Goings and Boys and Girls Club because they understand the importance of teamwork. And what they understand is that to reach our youth out there is that it takes people from all across the city of Lincoln. And it takes resources from all across the city of Lincoln. Mm-hmm. So they are intentional at partnering together with someone that can deliver the best message to the kids, with someone who might be able to relate to them a little bit better, a little bit differently, because again, our goal is that we want to change the lives of all of our kids. So when you mentioned a little bit of information about those kids that are at risk, for us, they're kids. And they are kids who we as people in the community of Lincoln, we are tasked with helping to change the trajectory of their lives.
That's right.
So it's not about the kids. It's about us as caring adults. And with the Boys and Girls Club, with Mentoring Plus, the kids will receive direction and services from caring adults.
I love it. I love it.
All right, guys. This is the part where I kind of go off script.
I like off script.
So into today's world that we live in, there's a lot of people that, they talk. Kids should be better. We got to do this. We got to do that. We got to do that. But you guys are like actually walking the walk, and you are going above and beyond to change the world we live in, to make it more positive. Where was it where that began? Where did it start for you guys? What told you, or what was the sign, or what made you be like, all right, this is my calling in life, because I want to help today's youth?
Yeah. Chris, I think what happens with most people who are in our line of work is usually one or two things, right? You've had a personal experience in the space. So to Elton's point, you were the kid that you're now helping.
Right.
And or you just found that if you are not the voice for these kids, who will be? Right. And so I've actually spent my entire career in the nonprofit sector. Full disclosure, actually tried to get out of the nonprofit sector because you can have something called compassion fatigue, right? Right. And your father being a pastor, I'm sure he experienced that a lot.
Yes,
it can weigh on you quite a bit. But I will tell you, in my soul, to my core, started pulling me back. And when you think about this community that I promise you we love so much, when you go into certain communities, right? And then you see students or young people who are not active, who are not playing. I will ride to certain neighborhoods and the kids are just sitting on a curb, not even actively playing outside. Then how do we engage them? Because there's some statistics that share with us that if we do not, especially between the hours of 3 to 6, the chances of them getting in trouble, getting involved in the system goes up exponentially at that point. And so I think this is your heart's work. You have to be committed from your soul. What we even talk about on our team, if people don't believe what we believe, even in this great resignation, I will rather work shorthand than to have someone who doesn't fundamentally believe what I believe in taking care of these young people.
Kim, you brought something up. I've done a lot of work with the Boys and Girls Club nationally over the past couple of years, and just the genesis. They started in 1860, and these 3 women in Hartfield, Connecticut. And what you said, it set it off. Mary Goodwin, Alice Goodwin, Elizabeth Hammersley, believing that boys who roam the streets should have a positive alternative. Now, some of our listeners who are with us every week would be saying, well, guys, you're talking about the Boys and Girls Club. If you look at the number of pro athletes, both male and female, because in 1990, it changed the name to Boys and Girls Club of America because they realized it's not exclusive for boys. We have girls we need out there as well. What you just said, just sitting there from 3 to 6, here we're talking about 1860. 3 women said, believing that boys who roam the streets should have a positive alternative. And here you two are, continue that on a century later.
Yes.
So, which leads me to this. Can you know, on your website, you listed things under your vision. Is this is not to duplicate services and programs,
For sure.
but to provide a tighter safety net for children and youth. Why is that so important that you aren't just sustaining the duplicate service that are already out there? What makes you guys? What brings you guys different?
Yeah. So we believe in taking care of the whole child while supporting the entire family, right? But as you guys know, we all give in this community in one way or the other, right? Our times, our tithes, our treasures. But the reality of it is you cannot do it alone. And so that's why Mentor Elton here with the CEO of Mentoring Plus is here with me, is because at the height of the pandemic, you really start seeing some of those indicators for unhealthy mental health challenges really start rising.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, what we provide are youth development programming to really support in this city specifically. We're prioritizing workforce development. But let me tell you, if a kid doesn't know how to show up for work, if the kid doesn't know how to just even get up because of all these other challenges, then how can we expect them to thrive even in the workforce, in their future workforce? And so then you have to a partner like Elton who comes along and say, you know what, I'll take care of the mental health portion of them. And that's what he's been doing. I will tell you, it has been life-changing. Do we need to do more? Yes, because this need is growing. I will tell you a quick story. In late March of 2020, and the school started shutting down. We are school site based, which means our actual school sites closed down. And immediately we pivoted to a couple of the local churches, got involved because, of course, churches weren't open. And so we started having a program out of that. We put out on social media only. We don't even have a ton of followers. And we said, if you're hungry, we will feed you. We will provide a dinner meal and supplement of LPS's breakfast and lunch distribution.
Oh, wow.
The very first day, so we planned for 200 folks. The very first day, I think we had 786 people show up. That was on a Monday.
786 people.
Friday, we hit 2,000. The next week, we hit 2,000. We're talking about dinner meals only. Not breakfast, not lunch, not a snack. We're going to make sure you have a hot dinner. And not just any dinner, a dinner that I want to eat, right? That you guys would want to eat. Because for the first time, guys, you had people who had never in their lives had to ask for help. Ask for help. And I will tell, and I'll end with this. If you go to our Facebook page, and I hope your listeners will,
right now.
What I will say is this: you actually won't see a ton of pictures of it on there. And the reason why is because it's hard to ask for help.
That's right.
It's hard to ask for help. And so we said we were going to do this with dignity. And so our board members, and we have the best board in the land, is at the Boys and Girls Club, who showed up and they gave money and they packed sacks. And it's what we did day in, day out. Runs that came out and gave out free meals, not a coupon and said you have to buy something to get something. They gave out a free meal to every kid in need. Chick-fil-A did the same thing. It's the community partnerships coming together.
Their social media handles, just for you guys and girls, if you're on Facebook, is Boys and Girls Clubs of Lincoln, Lancaster County. Boys and Girls Clubs of Lincoln, Lancaster County. That's on Facebook. If you're an Instagram person, on Instagram, it's BGC Lincoln. BGC Lincoln, the Boys and Girls Club. Let me ask you this. I'm going to go with both of you this, because we're going a little off script here. But Kim, you mentioned, I actually want to stick with this, because it's something you brought up important during the pandemic. You know, what was the experience like during the pandemic? Because you figure in March, I mean, we went to it was just like another world. Everything shut down. Gyms, restaurants, churches. You know, when a church shut down, there's something going on. Because my dad he wouldn't cancel church for nothing. I mean, be a blizzard. We still gonna go. We gonna trust the Lord. I'm like, Dad, we got 8 feet out there. We gonna trust God, son. We gonna trust God. We just gonna push on through. So you think about when the church is shut down, how much of an impact that? Well, you guys, you mentioned 786 the first night, 2,000 the second, and you wanted to preserve their dignity. Yeah. That's why there wasn't a lot of pictures of that, and we get that. My business took a massive hit, you know, during this thing. So I get that aspect of it. So what was that experience like? How did you have to transition? How did you have to pivot and still serve those kids? Because now the school meals weren't open. That's right. The Boys and Girls Club was one of the most consistent thing in a lot of those kids' lives. but now school's closed. How did you guys transition through that?
Well, let me tell you, we did what everyone I think in this community did. We buckled down, we called our friends, and we just made it happen. Was it scary? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Was it uncertain? Every single night.
Mhm.
I will tell you, AD, our finance committee, we met every single Friday for 6 months. So
Oh,
we could make
wow.
real-time decisions,
Mhm.
right? So what we were able to do is say, what are some of those immediate needs that we could handle right now? And it became food. It became a listening ear. I had a mom that we called and said, what do you need? And mom had stage 4 cancer, no insurance. Daughter was in our program, needed shoes. And I said, but mom, what do you need? And mom hadn't eaten in 2 days. And not just because of her cancer, because they couldn't afford food,
Couldn't
right?
afford food.
Yes. Yeah.
Folks, we'll be back here with Kimberly Goins, Executive Director of the Boys and Girls Club, Eldon Edmonds, CEO, Mentoring Plus. You're with Riffin with Raff and AD. We'll be right back with you.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. It's soul food right here in Lincoln. Ribs, wings, catfish, coleslaw, cornbread, grits. I mean, I'd say it's food like your grandma used to make, but my grandma never made food like that. If you haven't already, you've got to give it a try. Check out their location across from South Point at 27th and Pine Lake, or find their food truck at events all over town, or visit them online at maryellens.com to see the full menu. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Let them fix you a plate.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Hey, batter, batter, batter. Wings, splatter, splatter, splatter. Catch all this season's baseball action at one of your neighborhood Lincoln locations. Get League of Their Own wings, burgers, nachos, and ringers while catching all the action. Stop into Wings and Rings located on O Street in Meridian Park and 40th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village. Or place your order online at wingsandrings.com. That's wingsandrings.com. Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Tune in every Monday morning throughout the summer at 6:45 a.m. for golf course reviews on the Nebraska Golf Passport Early Break Golf Tour with Jake Sorensen and Steve Sipple on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The weather in Nebraska is unpredictable every day, and that's no fun when you're trying to golf. Double Eagle Golf in West Lincoln is now open to let you play in perfect indoor conditions daily. Double Eagle Golf has 5 simulator bays to hit in, by far the most in Lincoln. It has a fully stocked bar with beers and cocktails for you to enjoy while you play. Double Eagle Golf is open each weekday from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., so you can start the day there, take a client over lunch, or end the night with friends. Check out Double Eagle Golf today inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket. Every Saturday morning now in our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Let's do it. Let's get away. Let's go outside, cast a line, and reel in good times with our family and friends. Get a little peace, quiet, and relaxation, and make some memories that will last a lifetime. Let's do it. Let's Fish Nebraska. Start planning your fishing trip today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric ensures our home and office HVAC systems run smoothly throughout the year to provide maximum comfort and convenience. Routine maintenance reduced our operating costs just by improving the efficiency of our unit. Consider a maintenance agreement to ensure you too receive priority for services and scheduling. This helps meet manufacturer warranty requirements. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Now back to Riffin with Raff and AD on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, everybody, we're back here again, riffing with Raff and AD, Wednesday night, quickest 2 hours of the week. We're joined by our special guests, Kim and Elton. It's me again. I ask those off-the-script questions. That's kind of what I do. So I guess the question that came to my mind right now are, I feel bad for saying this, but I don't know a lot about the Boys and Girls Club. So, like, what services do the Boys and Girls Club offer? And if you want to, like, I wouldn't say join, but if you want to get involved with it, how do you go about that? And, you know, what do you guys, I guess, do with the Boys and Girls Club?
Yeah, absolutely. So we provide before and after school as well as summer programming for youth in middle school and high school. We prioritize workforce development. That's 3 main verticals, which are entrepreneurship, technology, so that whole kind of STEAM suite there with an offshoot in gaming, and then job skills / career readiness. We underpin that by the Gallup Strengths, which means 100% of our students, staff, and their parents take the Gallup Strengths Finder so they can first know who they are, right? Then we have a leadership component there. And so not just your buzzword leadership, but how does a kid show up? And so myself and another board member in February 2020, so right before the pandemic, we interviewed about 50 CEOs here locally, all sizes. And we said, when you look at your current workforce and predicting out what's going to happen in the 10 years, what are the challenges? They gave us some feedback. We literally threw those notes at the university because we are not curriculum writers. And they put out some really great curriculum for our kids to learn with. And then lastly, healthy lifestyle. So not just what you're putting in your body, but also how do you delay some of those risky behaviors so you can achieve some of your goals. And we do that through a lot of community partnerships. So our kids learn finance management, the STEM, robotics, coding, whatever you may think that they need to make sure that this state can sustain. Those are the type of programs we really focus on. So again, anything in leadership, anything workforce development, finance, good character, citizenship, leadership, we do those programs.
Mental Health Awareness Month is May, which is huge. And I think, and I know this word is overused, but unprecedented times. We are seeing numbers just out of the charts in the past couple of years as a result of the pandemic, unemployment, wars going on, the social things that are going on as far as social injustice, etc. You looking about the young man that gunned down 10 folks from probably in that black neighborhood last week.
Yes.
You know, all of these things, war, economics, etc. People are tapped out mentally right now. In sports, when Simone Biles, right?
That's right.
When she said, "I'm mentally tapped," she was dragged on social media. And I'm not saying by everybody, because some people support her, but she was dragged on social media. Then we had football players coming talking about it, and basketball players. Oh man, look, isn't that honorable?
Yeah.
Oh, why do you think that's still such taboo when it comes to mental health? And you guys and gals help with so much with that.
For sure.
Elton and Kim, both. I want you to both speak on the mental health aspect, because the past couple of years have been tough on all of us.
Yeah.
How has that impacted you guys at the Boys and Girls Club?
Yeah, I'll start that because you're absolutely right, and so I'll even bring it closer to home. So earlier this year, we were robbed at the Boys and Girls Club. We were broken into. We had lots of damages, and then a couple of days later, we were robbed again. Maybe by the same people, maybe not. And then just this week, so on Sunday of this week, we were vandalized and robbed again. And it was such a great time to have this conversation about mental health, because I didn't actually want to put that out there, Aaron and Chris. So you hadn't seen a press release or me do the news about it specifically, because I didn't want people to tie it back to being bad.
Right.
To your point, there's a crisis happening here, right? So just a few statistics for you.
Please.
More than 55% of youth, right? So you're talking about from K through 18, said 55% are right now, since the pandemic, experiencing emotional abuse by a parent or another adult in their house. That's it, swearing, the insulting, putting them down. 11% right now are experiencing physical abuse. You know, 37%, which is a third of high school students, have said since the pandemic, they've experienced poor mental health due to racism. Right. And now imagine watching your parents, the whispers that they have, you're moving more, you don't know how you're going to eat, there's job loss. People want to say folks don't want to go to work. I will tell you this: if you also don't have health insurance and you're high risk, if you don't have child care and you're high risk, it makes it harder to start coming back and not be able to feed your family. Don't find out you don't have a way to pay bills. You'll have a mental health crisis too, and it will show up as something else. And so it shows up, right? Because mom and dad, I want a new video game. Mom and dad, I want a cell phone. So people say, well, how could somebody rob the Boys and Girls Club? That's how. Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's a result of the mental health. It is actually not bad character.
You know, Kim, that was a great way to explain it. And like you mentioned, it doesn't justify the actions, but it gives some background to why the actions are there. That's right. You know, and sometimes, like you mentioned, it's not, sometimes it's a cell phone, sometimes it's a video game, sometimes it's like, can I get lunch money? You know, can I get $5, you know, $10 to go to a movie, et cetera, like that? Elton, please chime in.
No, and sometimes it's just the life of our kids nowadays. You know, so one of the programs that we provide in partnership with the Boys and Girls Club is social and emotional learning. So what we do is we meet with the kids and try to give the kids an open and safe space to be able to share their emotions, to share what's going on. So I remember last year while providing one of the sessions, we just talked, primarily it was boys in the group. So I just opened it up. Let's talk about stress. Do you guys experience stress? What are some of those things? And some of the things they said truly astounded me. You know, one of the things they said is that, you know, you want to know about stress? Well, I'll tell you about stress. Stress is being worried about our homework, being worried about the grades. And not only that, is that when you get home, because you have other brothers and sisters around, you don't have a chance to do your homework. Right. So, and then he went on to talk about, and then you get so stressed out that you can't sleep. You wake up in the morning, your dad yells at you because you are tired and you set the snooze alarm. So the young boy said, you want to know about stress? That's what stress I have. You know, and I was just astounded again that this is something from a middle school kid. So what we do with the social and emotional learning is give them an opportunity to just share that. We work through their feelings, work through their emotions, and then try to dialogue some behaviors that can help to equip that. You know, so behaviors such as studying during the study hall, getting to school early in the morning, doing some extra studying, making some changes when they get home in the evenings. So again, our kids are just under routine stressors, things such as that. You know, homework, the demands of being at home, demands of parenting. It's the challenging things for our kids. And that's why we have organizations, Mentoring Plus, Boys and Girls Club, to be able to help the kids through those events.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Rafferty.
Me again.
Me again.
So you've had, you know, a ton of kids that have walked through the doors. Are there any that have stuck out to you, like success stories that you're just like, not only did you impact their life, but they impacted your life?
For sure. Before I answer that, I want to just throw out one more statistic based on what I just heard Elton say. 2 weeks ago, LPS Foundation came out with the statistics. You guys have to know, like the community, your audience has to know right now in LPS, 50% of the kids are in poverty. Go to bed hungry and wake up hungry. In Lincoln, Nebraska, you'll take it too, right? You'll take something. But to specifically, Chris, to answer your question, when I think about who we're serving, what was your question? Was it
just you had impact on kids' lives? What kind of it or who?
Yes. So
success stories.
I'm going to call it a couple of weeks ago, and Elton, you correct me if I'm wrong. With Mentoring Plus, Nelnet supported our students with the Gallup Strengths Finders, especially our seniors, right? Because they're getting ready to graduate in the next couple of weeks, and what are they going to do? And so we had this celebration after a few weeks of this learning. This has been going on all year. And a parent called me and said, my son said this was the most life-changing thing he'd ever experienced, that it changed his life. He said before Mentoring Plus had come in, and went through Gallup Strengths and helped him build out a life plan, he did not know what he was going to do. And so now this young man knows what he's going to do. And I will tell you this, when we can have that kind of success with one student, there's going to be one less family in the future who's out of poverty.
That's right.
Yeah, we
That's
hope
right.
to work ourselves out of a job.
You know, you said work yourself out of a job. Do you, and this is not even on the script, but I really want to think about this. Something my dad would always say to us kids, and I share this with students all the time: show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. And here I am hanging out with Raff.
Yeah.
You know?
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, scratching my head. I'm like, I'm hanging out with AD. I guess my future's pretty bright.
What types of talks do you have with kids? Because you have some that come consistently. They like the structure. Here's the thing about it. They may not like it, but they want it because it's expectations.
That's right.
Do you have some kids that come there that you kind of pull to the side and be like, watch your circle?
Absolutely. Without question. But more importantly, invite your circle. Invite them, right? Because you could be for them, right? Out of their five,
right.
They're one.
That's right.
That one that's going to change everything for them. Because, Aaron, I think even on a personal note for me, so in my own family, when you think about generational challenges, generational curses.
Yeah.
You know, if you've never seen it, you cannot achieve it.
That's right.
It is almost impossible. I always say the kid that you hear that was 12 years in the homeless shelter, $50 million in scholarship, going to Harvard, that's the unicorn. That's the exception. That is not the rule.
It's definitely not the rule.
Right. And so what we have to be mindful about is in how do we get their friends more involved? And we do that in partnership with LPS, in partnership with CLC, which is our community learning centers, where we put the whole neighborhood around these kids. But most importantly, like when I talked about our parents having access to the Gallup Strengths, how do they change that language? You know, when I was a kid, everyone said, Kim is bossy, Kim is bossy. At 5, when is my leadership skills unrefined, right? At that time, like change the language.
Kim ain't bossy.
Yeah. I am a leader. But the more a kid can start hearing that, then the more they can start seeing themselves as a Chris, as an AD, as an Elton in this community.
You know, you mentioned recruiting their friends. Something I always believe in college sports, in particular, ABR, always be recruiting.
That's right.
Always be recruiting. You guys hit a milestone.
We did.
A big milestone. And that's something that just
AD's happy.
happy. Tell us about that milestone and impact. What's that milestone?
So along with the 15-year, we have partnered with the Duncan Aviation. We are in the process of breaking ground for the BGC Center for Greatness at North Star High School. So that's how you kick off a 15-year anniversary.
Wow.
So you talk about impact. Currently, we have, I think the number is 251 students enrolled at the Boys and Girls Club, specifically at North Star High School. So that's not our total impact, just at the one high school. I mean, we're looking at how do you triple that in the next year? You know, we are getting ready to expand in additional schools. And so our goal is, how do we make sure that every single kid has access to our programming? We've even launched a new product, because in the pandemic, you have to look at program delivery even different.
Yep.
And let's be clear, we have to also think about our friends in greater Nebraska, where they don't have access, right, to before and after school programming.
Right.
So we've created something, if your listeners again go to our Facebook, they will actually see this. It's called BGC in a Box. So now you have a STEM kit in the box. You can get introduced to the healthcare field in a box, right? So you can get introduced to all types of careers, construction, because now how do we take some fun activities and put them there? And so when you think about our achievements in the last 15 years, our founders, one of our founders, Jack Coogan, when I asked him in December of last year, I said, Jack, what did you think this would be when you walked out and said, you guys, we're going to have a Boys and Girls Club here? Day one, I think they pulled 2 kids off the street in. Two kids. The end of that year was 175. To date, now we've over 15 years, we've impacted more than 15,000 kids. And now we're building this great new facility again with Duncan Aviation, and we're going to be able to do more. And kids won't have to go to Park Middle School or North Star High School to be able to experience our program, because again, we can mail your kid a program. We have a very secure on-site platform for student programming as well.
Folks, we are with Eldon Edmonds and Kim Goins with Raff and AD. We're going to have one more segment, and it's powerful stuff. So we think about this. I want to say this before we go to a break. Imagine if we got behind organizations like the Boys and Girls Club, like we do with Husker Athletics.
That's right.
Imagine
Yes.
that. Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. Just a small percentage of that. Riffin with Raff and AD. We'll be right back. We're going to pay some bills.
Time to replace your heating and air? Get utility rebates and big discounts from Bryant. Call 467-1111 or go to BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating.
Hey, batter, batter, batter. Wings, splatter, splatter, splatter. Catch all this season's baseball action at one of your neighborhood Lincoln locations. Get League of Their Own wings, burgers, nachos, and ringers while catching all the action. Stop into Wings and Rings located on O Street in Meridian Park and 40th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village. Or place your order online at wingsandrings.com. That's wingsandrings.com. Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $22.07 per hour and other select jobs starting at $23.77 per hour, with wages growing up to $29.71 per hour. Continental also has salaried jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's the weekend. Do you know where your kids are? The dangers of alcohol, marijuana, and other controlled substances are bad enough. They become even worse when teens get behind the wheel or catch a ride with an impaired driver. Parents, it's time to start what could be a life-saving conversation with your kids about the dangers of underage drinking and drug use. Learn more at coalitionrx.org. Paid for by federal grant dollars through Nebraska DHHS and Region 6 Behavioral Healthcare. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
Spring is here. Are you giving your yard the best chance at being healthy and green? Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn to get your sprinklers ready to go for the season if they haven't been working properly. They're also scheduling installs for new sprinkler systems if you don't have one. So make sure you contact them early to get a bid as soon as possible. Plus, they're your one place to go for 5-step fertilizer and pesticide application and lawn aeration. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. It's soul food right here in Lincoln. Ribs, wings, catfish, coleslaw, cornbread, grits. I mean, I'd say it's food like your grandma used to make, but my grandma never made food like that. If you haven't already, you've got to give it a try. Check out their location across from South Point at 27th and Pine Lake, or find their food truck at events all over town, or visit them online at maryellens.com to see the full menu. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Let them fix you a plate.
Hi, this is Dave Osted from Osted's Golf. Let us make this your best season yet. Voted a top 100 fitter by Golf Digest, our master fitters have been trained by the same guys that build clubs for PGA pros like Rory, Tiger, DJ, and Jordan. Have old clubs? Trade them in Osted's Value Guide, or have our club specialists get your clubs swinging like new. Go to our website and make your fitting appointment. You're a click away from a better golf game. Play better, have fun, and shop Osted's.
Hello, I'm Charlie Stone, back with the latest news from Honda of Lincoln. Joining me now is the general manager, Andy Goodyear. Hey, Andy, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Charlie.
Hey, Andy, with spring right around the corner, how is your supply of new Hondas and pre-owned vehicles?
Really good, Charlie. As I've said before, when you drive by our lot, you don't see what you're looking for, just remember we have hundreds of new Hondas arriving soon. With Honda continuing to offer 0.9% APR financing, to qualified buyers. Plus, we have over 125 pre-owned vehicles in stock and ready for immediate delivery.
That's great, Andy. Any more great news?
There is, Charlie. Honda just announced financing from 0.99% APR on certified pre-owned Hondas for qualified buyers.
So come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Now back to Riffin with Raff and AD on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, everybody, we're back again Wednesday night, Riffin with Raff and AD, 93.7 The Ticket. We're here with Kim and Elton tonight. It's me again. I got another question. All right. Question.
That was on beat too with the music right there,
That's
man.
what I roll. You're teaching me the rhythm.
You sounded well.
I told him to keep his shoulders in
I
tight.
stay within my shoulders
Nothing
tight.
out here. No, this is right
And
here.
I'm on rhythm.
You sounded
Right
good.
80, that's why 80's my friend. So the question I got is, we've talked a lot about what you guys have done. And I throw Tony's name out, Mr. Tony Goins.
Capital Cigar Lounge. Thank you for supporting us, y'all watching tonight.
Going out a shout out right there. I think they might be watching tonight. on
Relationships
television,
matter.
on the big screen. Hey Scott, hey Derek, hey Grace, whoever's working. But the thing I've learned about Tony is Tony sees where he's at, but he's always looking where he's going.
Mm-hmm.
What? And I know Kim quite well. What are your goals for like the next 15 years? Because I know you're not just taking a job just to stay steadfast and stay normal.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do better. You want to be better. What are your goals for the next 10, 15 years?
Yeah, that's actually very easy for me. So when we think about what really differentiates the Boys and Girls Club from all the other really phenomenal nonprofits here, right? I mean, we work with most of them. Teammates, Des Moines Adams sits on my board.
Mm-hmm.
We're partners. So you have great nonprofits here. I think the one differentiating factor for us is not only do we look at the social needs for the kids, we're also prioritizing the workforce development, i.e. Tony Goins, right? Their economic futures.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're playing the long game here, to your point. And so it's how can we get more kids in our program, make bigger impact, expand our programs, expand our partnerships. And this is where I'm going to actually plug how your people can help us do that, if that's okay.
Yes.
Because what I will say is this: between now and May 26th, I believe that's next Thursday, it's Give to Lincoln Day here in the great city of Lincoln, Nebraska. And so what I will tell you this, your listeners, we in this room, we can't afford not to give to the Boys and Girls Club and Mentoring Plus. And I'll let Elton talk about what his goals are for the next 15 years. Because you'll pay for it one way or the other. If you give to us on Give to Lincoln Day, you will double your impact, right? The great folks at Lincoln Community Foundation will be able to match that gift. And again, it's our 15-year anniversary. So we're asking people to give in increments of the $15. So $15, right? $150. $15,000. We'd like for you to give and come join.
1.5 million.
Praise
God.
Thank you, guys.
That's the way we roll.
So you heard it here, folks. Both Chris and AD are going to write us both a check for $1.5 million. Thank you so much for your help.
It's what we do.
That's what we do here.
But that's what it looks like. We want to have additional partnerships that look like Duncan Aviation, where we're building a facility so we can expand, and they're right there at the schools. They're right there at the school. So you don't have to have the transportation for your kid to participate. We will come to where your student is to have impact. And so I think if your listeners will consider a contribution, it doesn't have to be monetary. We need volunteers, right? We want your expertise. We want to partner with your company. And I think it's also a great time to also mention before I pass it over to Elton. So many corporations have employee matching. For their gift. And so definitely check with your HR, see if there's a company match. Again, have double the impact. You're going to pay it on the front end and you can do it and have a smile on your face with the Boys and Girls Club. You're going to pay it on the back end when you have the 50% of kids that are in poverty or 50% of adults in poverty.
That's right. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. And I think one of the most important things also that we can look at is to measure our success by our children and what they come back to do. So one of the most awesome events is that earlier in the year, we had a student who had graduated from Lincoln North Star High School. 2 years later, she's coming back to help mentor and help provide some of those activities. 2 years from now, we're planning on that student to come back as a graduate as a mentor to be able to come back. So one of the things that through Mentoring Plus, through Boys and Girls Club that we want to measure is how many of our students graduate, get great jobs, and come back to the community to help mentor other kids.
You know, you both spoke about the importance of giving. And, you know, here's one thing when you think about, you bring it back to Nebraska football from just our background. Coach Osborne knew that he had 4 years, maybe 5 if you redshirted, to speak into a young man's life, because when he came there, he was a teenager. When he was going to leave, he was going to be a grown man, fully aged adult. When I've served on a number of boards, and when I ask people, I never say to them, "I want you to donate something to me." I said, "I want you to invest." Because you think about an investment, the very definition, I pulled this, I want to make sure the action or process of investing, this says money for profit or material result. You're going to see, but you mentioned that young student coming back, all the students, you know, your board members who have been impacted. You've been impacted directly because of Boys and Girls Club. You look about that ROI. So when you're talking about, you know, financial tools and financial instruments, people in business, they like to hear ROI. Now, great, the money's great, the resources are great, but what about investing into a young man or a young woman? Imagine the return on that investment when they become productive citizens of society. And like you said, you're going to do it in the front end or the back end. Kim and Elton, tell us real fast before we break out for you guys. Tell our listeners how they, once again, just make sure they know, how can they invest?
Yes. So one of the ways, again, that they can invest is to participate in Give to Lincoln.
May 26th.
Yes. And I really appreciate how you say it is an investment.
Yes.
So it's an investment because everything grows and everything is better. So Lincoln is a great city. It's a great place, but it's going to become better once we have kids that are graduating at a higher rate, once we have kids that are entering the workforce skilled and being able to contribute to those work sites, and then being able to contribute to their communities and to their families across the city of Lincoln. So that's when we can become better Lincoln, Nebraska.
I love it. I love it.
And we'd love for you to invest in the Boys and Girls Club and in their futures. You can go to our website, www.lincolnbgc for Boys Girls Club.org. You can give there. We also have a text to give option. I love kids, and I'm going to actually have you guys put on your Facebook because I just forgot that text number, but I'll have our marketing director.
Put that on there.
Yeah, please do, because we want them to be able to text to give. And again, also give your time. Give your time to these youth in this community. If they can see you, they can be you.
They can see you, they can be you. Folks, you know what? This would be in Mental Health Awareness Month, you know, to have Elton, Edmund, and Kim Goins here to talk about investment community. 93.7 to take, we're all about sports, Husker athletics as well. We're also about talking about what's important in our community. If we don't do that, what are we really doing to give back and to invest in our future? Kim, Elton, thank you again for being with us tonight. It was just mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing too. I'm going to say this, but the stats are concerning.
They are.
They're more than concerning. They're troubling to see that. And folks, you can help get involved. Maybe you say, you know what, I can't give, $15 or $150 or 15,000 or 1.5 million like me and Raff are going to do. Wink, wink, wink. But you know what? Your time. We all have a little bit more time than we think we do. So again, check them out, look them up. Folks, thank you so much for being part of us, joining us tonight. We appreciate it. It definitely won't be the last time.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
absolutely. Thank you both. Folks, this is Riffin with Raff and AD. We're going to take a quick break. In at 7:08:05, we're going to have former Husker wide receiver, all-world Kenny Cheatham with us here at 8:05. Thanks a bunch.
When we're looking out for a homeowner, we're always keeping their budget in mind. We try to maximize things that are important to them.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
So we really try to maximize the size, because 5 years from now, you can't just make your house bigger. The one thing I can tell you is that most builders in Lincoln, we all are about the same price. The difference comes in the products that we put in and the way we put in those products.
The old saying, you get what you pay for, is pretty accurate when you're building a home. If you put nicer windows in and you put nicer cabinets, it's going to cost a little bit more. If those things are important to you, then you want to do it. We can try to incorporate in your floor plan and get a house that you're going to be happy with.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $22.07 per hour and other select jobs starting at $23.77 per hour, with wages growing up to $29.71 per hour. Continental also has salaried jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Tune in every Monday morning throughout the summer at 6:45 a.m. for golf course reviews on the Nebraska Golf Passport Early Break Golf Tour with Jake Sorensen and Steve Sipple on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Spring is here. Are you giving your yard the best chance at being healthy and green? Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn to get your sprinklers ready to go for the season if they haven't been working properly. They're also scheduling installs for new sprinkler systems if you don't have one. So make sure you contact them early to get a bid as soon as possible. Plus, they're your one place to go for 5-step fertilizer and pesticide application and lawn aeration. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
Hi, this is Dave Osted from Osted's Golf. Let us make this your best season yet. Voted a top 100 fitter by Golf Digest, our master fitters have been trained by the same guys that build clubs for PGA pros like Rory, Tiger, DJ, and Jordan. Have old clubs? Trade them in Osted's Value Guide, or have our club specialists get your clubs swinging like new. Go to our website and make your fitting appointment. You're a click away from a better golf game. Play better, have fun, and shop Osted's.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
It's the weekend. Do you know where your kids are? The dangers of alcohol, marijuana, and other controlled substances are bad enough. They become even worse when teens get behind the wheel or catch a ride with an impaired driver. Parents, it's time to start what could be a life-saving conversation with your kids about the dangers of underage drinking and drug use. Learn more at coalitionrx.org. Paid for by federal grant dollars through Nebraska DHHS and Region 6 Behavioral Healthcare. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Welcome to Riffin with Raff and AD. Coming to you live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Now here's former Huskers, Chris Rapp and Aaron Davis.
All right, we're back again. Riffin with Raff and AD, Wednesday night, 7 to 9, 93.7 The Ticket. AD playing the air guitar like a machine over there. That technique is amazing. Holy cow. I see something new every day out of this guy. He never surprised. Yeah, he does surprise me. He's crazy. He's AD. He's a legend.
Harris is going. Y'all dudes got problems.
Good
man.
Lord.
Bro, how cool was that though, man?
That is so powerful. And it just amazes me that Tony and Kim, they could probably go out, travel the world, do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
But they give so much to Lincoln and the state of Nebraska. I mean, that couple's amazing. Like, I think actually when I first met them, I kind of thought, is it fake?
Right.
And they are so real and they're so legit and they help. and they believe in the greatness. Like Tony always says, I've lived in a lot of different places, but Nebraska, that's where I want to be at. I don't want to leave Nebraska. I want to make my mark on Nebraska. I want to, and that's that family in a nutshell. That the whole Goins family it's incredible, and I consider it an honor and a privilege to know them and call them my friends.
Raff, you summed it up perfectly, man. I mean, you meet them, it's like you've met family, and they always want to make sure that there's room for you at the table. That's why even down at the Capitol Cigar Lounge, it says relationships matter, and it's relationships, and that's not just a hashtag or a slogan. That's something they do a part of life. And so we're very fortunate, very blessed. And to our listeners, like I said, we always want to make sure that we give our community a chance to be on the radio, to share what their passions are, but more importantly, how they're investing back in the community, more than just sports. This is bigger than sports, because eventually, as my dad would always tell us boys, and my sisters too, but particularly as boys, as athletes, eventually the applause stopped from the stadium. Eventually the lights go out. Eventually you can't shoot the ball like you did, run the football, whatever it may be. So what's your game plan after life? And the Boys and Girls Club, if you look at the number of professional athletes who were impacted by the Boys and Girls Clubs around the country, is phenomenal. So again, we want to give a big shout out to Elton Edmond and Kim Goins for being here tonight. And folks, please invest. This is Nebraska. This is Lincoln, Lancaster County, surrounding areas. Invest. I can't say it enough. Folks, we got to the sports part back of our show tonight. We have my little bro. He ain't so little. We got my man, Kenny Cheatham, Nebraska wide receiver, three-time national. Think about that. Three-time national championship winner on the phone. Kenny Cheatham from Arizona. KC, what's happening with you, baby?
Nothing much, big bro. How are you?
Man, I'm doing, bro. First of all, it's just good to hear your voice, man.
Thank you. I appreciate yours too, bro.
Man, thank you, bro. Hey, what's the temperature down in AZ today, man?
Man, whew, it was 104 today. It was a burner. So right now, on my way home, I just got home. It was 100 on the nose.
100 on the nose. But see, KC, you were born and raised there, so the heat, you just adjust to it like we did when I lived up. When you lived up here, you just adjust to it, right or wrong?
Yeah, I'm used to it. I mean, you can. Here's one thing: the difference between Nebraska and, of course, Phoenix and Arizona. I can always get cool. You can't always warm up. So I was ready to take this and that any day. I did not like the cold, brother. So
no,
I'm cool. I'm fine.
Kenny, I'll never forget. I'm gonna share this real quick before I hop into questions, man. And I remember one time in practice, man, it was cold out there, man, because we both receivers. And you looked at me, it's like, AD, it's cold as a bloop in this mug, man.
It didn't make any sense, man. It didn't make any sense. So I was like, oh my gosh. I used to try to sneak out and go get some of that chicken broth and go in the locker room. The coach knew I was trying it every time. So he put a halt to that. I was like, I can't do this, coach. This ain't right.
Folks, that was Kenny Cheatham said he would sneak off and get chicken broth.
Yeah, that just wasn't right, bro. That's just not meant for people.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We met some good people, man. Kenny, think about this, man. You graduated, got your degree, three-time national champion, honorable mention all Big 12. Now that you're at 46 years old, correct?
45. 40, don't age me like
no. But 46 soon, though.
You're better than this, AD.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah, 46 soon. So at 45 years old now, man, very few people can say they have one national championship. Even fewer can say they have two. Extremely rare for someone to say they have three. How is that at 45 years old? Have you looked back and be like, sometimes like, wow, I got 3 national championship rings?
At this age, I do. Being younger, I didn't really appreciate it as much. It was, during that time, it was expected. And years after, I would just be like, oh, people would say, Kenny, you have 3 championships. And I was just like, oh, yeah, that's cool. Because my personality,
right.
I'm kind of like, yeah, whatever.
Right.
And then as I got older and as I watched the games, and I hear them say, oh, this team in Alabama, they're going for this amount of years, and it might be their first or their second. I'm like, wow, I got a chance to be a part of 3. That's rare. And I remember thinking that same thought when I think it was USC when they played Texas. I think that would have been 3 in a certain time for them or something like that. And I remember just saying, oh, when Texas beat them, wow, I'm kind of in rare air here of, what we were able to accomplish during my time in Nebraska. So, yeah, I appreciate it more as I get older. But that happens with a lot of things in life with people,
It does. It does. Raph, real quick before you ask him, who else has 3? How many other guys would you say who have 3 national championships?
Well, there's a guy that's on every
VJ
day from 11.
Well, I mean, other than Nebraska, not Rashad, not VJ, but I mean, like
a lot.
But I mean, like other schools who would have 3 national championships as a player. Other schools,
possibly some Alabama guys, if they had a medical hardship.
Can you think of other schools?
Early Oklahoma guys back in the 50s, but
it'll be hard pressed for me to think of any, brother.
Yeah,
it's very rare. I mean,
to do that during the 5-year career, you got 3 now. You basically want a championship every year with exception 2 years of your college career.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because
I almost played for one as a redshirt.
Yep.
Because you were in the 60-3, I believe, in 5 years. I believe that's what their record was.
No, I was actually the class without that. So you technically say, as a redshirt freshman, I was a part of that team, and then the '95 team, and then the '97 team. So you say you added to that because we were part of the team. We were the guys.
That's right.
I had to play every top receiver on every team every week. So that was a lesson learned. So I had to play the J.J. Stokes, the Kevin Jordan, the Harris at Wyoming, the Westbrook. I had to play them all. So, we were a part of that team. And so you can say 2, but 3 if we go technical, but 2 and 3,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go back to your high school years. Everyone knows you, Kenny Cheatham, Nebraska, number 6, but you were a heck of a track star and a basketball player. Was football your number 1 sport? Is that what you wanted to do? Or was there basketball or track, or is there something that you might have wanted more, but maybe the magic of recruiting of Tom Osborne brought you to Nebraska as a football player?
Well, it was almost a domino effect of how everything fell into place for me to end up in Lincoln. AD may know the story. I've mentioned it before.
Mm-hmm.
So going into my senior year, I actually was not going to even play football. My sophomore year, my freshman year, I ran track. I long jumped and I ran, but my coach wanted me to jump more. My track coach was, he's a great Dwayne Evans, ran in the Olympics, won a bronze medal. So in 76. So my junior year, I went out to track and I said, Coach, I'm faster than these guys. Well, let me roll back. He saw me in a football game. We always played football. See, I was always more defense. I've always played offense and was really good, but I love contact. I love hitting people. I was really doing that. And we played Rattay, who ended up going to Louisiana State, the quarterback. And there was an older brother, and he ran the kickoff, and I caught him from the other side of the field. My track coach runs out there, and he's like, oh, my God, I knew you were fast. So I knew you were that fast. And I was like, and I started laughing, and I said, I told you. So, of course, it was basketball. I was highly recruited in basketball. I got the label as a tweener. So they were like, what does he play? Is he a point guard, 2 guard, 3 guard? I see him guarding centers, things like that. So it was like, okay, so we're going to jump on it, but what does he play? So the mid-levels were more aggressive than the majors, but the majors were aggressive as well. Of course, Nebraska, Tennessee, and all of this. But originally my senior year, once I decided to play, I started playing, and I was originally signing with Miami. That was a done deal. And my mom sat down and she was like, son, Miami isn't a safe place. It's not really, what they show in Miami Vice and all this stuff. And she was like, I know you're girl crazy. You're going to mess around and be in the wrong place, and something's going to happen. So I'm like, okay, Ma. Then I was looking at, of course, Nebraska was there. I was looking at Florida, Tennessee. Rick Newhouser was at UCLA. He told me, Kenny, I'm going back to Colorado next year. Paul Durrell was at Arizona State. He told me, Kenny, I'm going back to Colorado in another year. So that kind of washed them out. And then it was about my test scores. My junior year, we took our test scores. My teammates passed. I missed it by like a half a point. I don't know if it's still the same, but my GPA was so high, I only had to score like a 17 on the ACT. So I got 16 and a half. We had played a night game 2.5 hours away in Tucson the night before we got back, which you take the test at like 6 in the morning. We got back at like 1 in the morning. And I've never been a morning person.
Right.
So I ended up taking it again my senior year, and I passed it. So I went from the 16 and a half to 21.
Oh, wow.
So we were waiting for my test score, and we never got it back. So we had to call them, and then you know what they were doing? They were flagging it. How did he jump up so much?
Are you serious?
So, yeah. So when all of the recruiting was going on, I didn't have my test score.
Oh, wow.
So you know, basketball only has a certain amount of scholarships. They're like, Kenny, we got to know, or, you know, they start saying, well, go junior college, sit out that first semester and then come in. I'm like, no, I want to be there full time on scholarship.
Right.
The football schools kind of backed off, but they were still there. They were like, look, get him on the track scholarship, and then he'll be playing football. So, you know, they were trying to make moves, because I had all the big boys, the LSU, the Arkansas, the UCLA, the USC, the Michigan, you know, everyone. Because I was coming out, I think, if I'm correct, like top 5 sprinter in the nation. And I didn't take track seriously. I just did it. So, you know, a lot of my track, because I was like,
what a gift.
I would tell my track coach, anything over 200 meters, people who do that are insane. That just doesn't make any sense. So he would laugh at me because I would tell people in track practice, I would have to run under 10 fours and 10 threes and under 21 twos. So the times that they have in the record book are way slower than what I ran. So he would and I actually got offered to be sponsored by Adidas coming out of high school, believe it or not, because he was under Adidas to go pro. So, you know, I didn't have my test scores, and then I took it again. We're waiting. Nebraska is the one that stayed consistent with me the whole time.
Wow.
And it came down to my dad. He was like, son, they stayed with you. I understand, you know, it might be the place where I know you don't, you know, with the passing and the ball and all of that, but they're the ones who stayed loyal to you. So it was his decision and mine, but he favored it. So I said, you know, I respect my dad's decision. He's not going to put me in the wrong place. And that's how it ended there. So a lot of people don't know, I signed in Nebraska and I was in Lincoln like 3 weeks later. I didn't sign in maybe June.
Oh, wow.
Like I got that very last test score. When is that, around June or something? You'll probably get it. And then I was in Lincoln maybe 3 weeks later. So I didn't get the preparation to get ready. Hey, I'm going here. It was boom, 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 making moves. And then I was on the airplane.
Okay, so who was it Coach Darlington recruited you or Coach Brown?
I had Coach Brown.
I
had Coach Brown. Mm-hmm.
When other schools backed off, you mentioned almost Miami. Did Miami back off during that time too, until you had your scores?
They weren't. All of the schools weren't as aggressive, shall I say? I still was in contact with them, but they were like, "Hey, you know, we filled the football scholarships, but here's a track scholarship." So it was almost a dual sport thing. Hey, we're going to try to give a track. You can get a track scholarship, and then we'll bring in football. Then the next year, put you on the football scholarship. But you're going to be playing football, but you can do the other. So some were basketball and football, some were track and football. So, you know, they were still there. The schools were still there. Because I went on a recruiting trip to Tennessee, and maybe 2 weeks before I signed to Nebraska. And I let them know about their self. They didn't send me my plane ticket twice. You know, I was supposed to get it. I never got it. Then they thought I had my score. They supposed to send the ticket. They never did. So when I got there, I let them know, you know, what I felt about it. That's why I didn't end up going to Tennessee either. So, you know, I said, hey, you don't do that to a kid. You know, it's disrespectful.
Right. Was that Peyton Manning there or T. Martin?
Yeah, that was Peyton Manning.
So
my class, that would have given Tennessee the #1 recruiting class in the country.
Wow.
If I would have signed there. Yeah, that was Peyton Manning. That was like Andy McCullough,
Peerless Price,
that whole crew. The teams we played. That was all of that. Did me with all those guys. One of my best friends growing up and closest brothers to this day was Terry Fair. Corner.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my childhood Pop Warner closest brother to this day.
I did not realize that.
Pop Warner, yeah. So, you know, Yeah.
Can you imagine how good them Pop Warner teams was, Raff?
So then, losing my train of. Oh no, I'm back. I'm back. So there was always talk about you being an amazing basketball player and possibly like playing at Kansas. Was that true?
Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, Matt Doherty came to a couple games. He was there as assistant coach at the time. Recruited by Georgetown, UCLA, the Pac-10, of course, Big Ten schools, some SEC schools, small, of course, the mid-majors. So, yeah, that was absolutely true. But I didn't have my score. So that's what that thing was with that. So, once they kind of backed off, I was like, okay, I'm not going to play that game. And then, I started looking more at football and because I was going to go there. I would have been in the class with LaFrance and all of them.
Wow. So that leads to my second question of the night. This might be the question of the night. Who's better at basketball, you or Eric Warfield?
Me. That's not even close. Not even close.
Not even close.
Not even close. Because here's how I explain it to people. They played basketball. I was a basketball player. There's a difference.
You got McDowell's and you got McDonald's coming to America.
Eric, you can get a guy that goes to jail play basketball. There's a difference between a basketball player. It's a difference. You know what I mean? You can go in there and play pickup, but when you say, okay, here's a basketball, let's go, that's a night and day. That's a big difference.
I'm gonna say this too, man. Kenny, remember we played on some championship. We won some campus championships. Remember that, man?
Yeah, I'm still only got a pack of rec.
Yes.
For a basketball game.
Yes, we got some championships. We played on teams together. And when Kenny came in, it was me and some guys recruiting Damon Bennings, a few other guys. I was like, we're getting Kenny Cheatham. We know that dude was All-American in basketball. I said he's gonna be on our team. And man, we used to just run teams up and down the court there at the old Coliseum building, man. Federal Express was our name, man. Kenny, let me ask you this. So you had all of those schools recruiting you as far as basketball. I'm looking right here, make sure I get all these right. Because I honestly, I knew you were really good in basketball. I knew you recruited big time in basketball. I didn't realize, though, bro, that you had Kansas, Ohio State, Georgetown, Arizona State, Arizona, UCLA, and Oregon State, just to name a few. How high and you mentioned, Raff, you mentioned about Kansas. If you were going to play basketball besides KU, would have been your other choice if you would have chose basketball instead of football?
If it was basketball?
Yeah. If it wasn't KU, what other schools did you really consider?
University of Arizona.
Because you're right at the crib, right at home.
And, University of Arizona was a top-notch program. Just think, too, that would have been myself, Miles Simon, Michael Dickerson, that team that won the championship.
Yep. They were some bad boys. Did you grow up playing against those guys at all? Or were they from outside of AZ?
We played against Miles Simon. He went to Modern Day, so we clashed heads a lot in the national tournament. Basketball, as you know, and you all know, wasn't as watered down as it is on the AAU circuit.
Right.
You only had a couple big tournaments. You saw everyone in Vegas, either Long Beach, Florida, and the other big tournament was here in Arizona. So we literally saw everyone in either two tournaments, and you can only play in a certain amount at that time. So we either saw them here or we saw them all in Vegas. So Miles Simon, yes, we always butted heads in Vegas. And then Michael Dickerson, he not really. I saw him, but we didn't go head to head.
Okay.
But a lot of other guys that we saw on TV, I went head to head with.
You banged against those guys.
Yeah, man.
So did you have any discussions with Coach Nee about potentially joining the Husker basketball team while you were at Nebraska, or were you just full football the whole time?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Coach Snow was the track coach at the time. Coach Nee, Coach Snow.
Oh, in football or track? I'm sorry, basketball or track?
And Coach Nee. I talked to all of them.
Yeah, and Coach Pepin. It'd have been Coach Pepin as a track coach.
Yeah, I was supposed to do all of them, or which two of out of the three. So I did talk to Coach Neese. Absolutely, and I was going to go do it, but I think I was banged up a couple times, and Coach Brown was like, "Nah, I wasn't the studious of people." I get those grades right, Coach. You need your eligible. So.
Kenny, I think it's best that you.
You know it.
I know.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Kenny, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to pay some bills. We'll be back, folks, with three-time national championship White Husker former wide receiver Kenny Cheatham on Riffin with Raff and AD. We'll be right back.
Are you sick of mindlessly running on a treadmill or the lack of motivation to consistently work out? Whatever your challenge, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping can help. Whether you want to lose weight, boost energy, or simply improve your overall health, you'll fit right in at Farrell's regardless of age or abilities. Build endurance with their kickboxing and strength training group fitness classes while also getting nutrition coaching. Try Farrell's now for a free week. Visit fxblincoln.com or call Jeff at 402-310-4026. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
When we're looking out for a homeowner, we're always keeping their budget in mind. We try to maximize things that are important to them.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
So we really try to maximize the size because 5 years from now, you can't just make your house bigger. The one thing I can tell you is that most builders in Lincoln, we all are about the same price. The difference comes in the products that we put in and the way we put in those products.
The old saying, you get what you pay for, is pretty accurate when you're building a home. If you put nicer windows in and you put nicer cabinets, it's going to cost a little bit more. If those things are important to you, then you want to do it. We can try to incorporate in your floor plan and get a house that you're going to be happy with.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
It's the weekend. Do you know where your kids are? The dangers of alcohol, marijuana, and other controlled substances are bad enough. They become even worse when teens get behind the wheel or catch a ride with an impaired driver. Parents, it's time to start what could be a life-saving conversation with your kids about the dangers of underage drinking and drug use. Learn more at coalitionrx.org. Paid for by federal grant dollars through Nebraska DHHS and Region 6 Behavioral Healthcare. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket. Every Saturday morning now in our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. It's soul food right here in Lincoln. Ribs, wings, catfish, coleslaw, cornbread, grits. I mean, I'd say it's food like your grandma used to make, but my grandma never made food like that. If you haven't already, you've got to give it a try. Check out their location across from South Point at 27th and Pine Lake, or find their food truck at events all over town, or visit them online at maryellens.com to see the full menu. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Let them fix you a plate.
Let's do it. Let's get away. Let's go outside, cast a line, and reel in good times with our family and friends. Get a little peace, quiet, and relaxation. And make some memories that will last a lifetime. Let's do it. Let's Fish Nebraska. Start planning your fishing trip today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our communities safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
Hey, it's Nelson inviting you to stop by the newest Caterpillar Vape Shop here in Lincoln at 2601 North 11th Street. Get to know the team that will find you exactly what you're looking for. Premium e-juice, CBD, Delta 8, mods, kits, and more. They can answer any question you have and find the right fit for you. In a hurry, hit the drive-thru for convenient service. Amazing rewards for existing customers, and as always, new Caterpillar Vapes customers get 50% off their entire purchase. Now is the time. Stop in. Caterpillar Vapes, 2601 North 11th Street. Follow on Facebook or online at caterpillarvapes.com.
Now back to Riffin with Raff and AD on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, we're back again. Wednesday night, the quickest 2 hours of the week. Riffin with Raff and AD, 93.7 The Ticket. We're here with our special guest, Kenny Cheatham. Kenny, I got a question I like to ask of all the former players. So your Nebraska years, what was the play call when it came into the huddle? And it was like, yep, this is my play. There's a good chance we're going to score here. Was there any certain play that sticks out to you?
Okay. It was anyone that was a slant and go. Slant and go. Those were always big catches for us, for myself on the team. That was what the call was in Central Florida. When I caught the pass in the middle to get us down there for that touchdown. I think Correll ran it in next. So that was probably, I can't think of the exact name. I can remember everything else, but now I got a brain freeze. I can't remember that thing, and I can remember the whole playbook. But that was one, like a non-slant and go, one slant and go. So that was probably it.
Kenny, when you got here, okay, and we were just talking about this during the break with and Harris, feel free to jump in anytime you want to, man. You got here, there's Abdul Muhammad, there's Riley Washington, there's Reggie Ball, there's Vedral, there's
Aaron Davis.
AD was career scout team guy.
I want to throw it out there.
You think about this, dude. You and Riley were two of the fastest 200 meters. Riley was in the nation. You're in the top 5, top 4. When you got here, what was your feelings when you got on campus, like during during the summer drills, where we do our summer conditioning, 7-on-7, etc. When did you feel that, you know what, I can play here? I can play with these guys. Was there a moment? Was there a practice? Was there an instance? When did it hit you? Because first of all, you came in as a ballyhoot in all sports. Everybody knew you were good. The moment Coach Brown told me,
AD, we got a guy, Kenny Cheatham, that's coming in here around the fast 200 meters of the nation. We're all knowing this. You know what I'm saying? We know this.
When did it hit you that you were like, you know what? Yeah, I can play with. And I got a part 2 of that question. When did you feel that, you know what, I can play here?
Honestly, this is probably the first time I've ever said it. Honestly, it took months. I had a hard time when I got there adjusting to everything. And that's from a physical talent standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn to do the little things that I didn't have to do at the high school level.
Right.
Because I was so much better than everyone.
Exactly.
And it's not a pat myself on the back. No, that's not my character.
Mm-hmm.
I would literally have in high school a tight a linebacker, a safety, and a cornerback on me. And I can catch a hitch or a speed out, and it was 70, 80 yards. I was gone.
It was gone.
So I had to learn that 9 yards was 9 yards, not 10, not 8.
Right.
That 5-yard hitch had to be at 5 yards.
Mm-hmm.
That post and corner had to be at 20, not 21, not 19. The timing aspect, I can get away with that at a young level. So it took, I'm going to say, honestly, until spring. To get my confidence to really master that, because that was like a mental block for me. That was the type of stuff that I had to get used to. So, I would say spring. It wasn't the physical stuff. It was that part of it. It was the mental part of it.
Go ahead, Raff.
I was just going to ask you, so you're getting acclimated to Nebraska football and stuff like that. Who was the toughest Nebraska defender that you went up against where you're just like, oh man, not this again?
Well, I'll say this, and I'll put this on the air, and they can't contest it. No safety wanted anything to do with it. It couldn't hold it. That was sick. That was sick. That was an instant six. Any safety, will, whatever, anybody in the interior, that was a touchdown. The toughest, I'm going to say the toughest, was Baron Miles.
B, Miles. I knew he was going to say B, man.
Yeah. That was when this guy literally sat there one day when I lined up as a freshman and told me, "You're going 16 yards. I'll watch you count them." Yeah. That was something. Him and Tyrone gave me, and Williams, I would say them both, Baron the most. They gave me problems as a freshman because they were so sound at what they were.
Yeah.
At their positioning, and everyone took it serious, but they were sound at what they did. They were very sound. So, but that was experience and playing. So me coming in trying to do what I can do on the lower level, it wasn't going to work there.
Absolutely.
So, and I ran a slanting, not a slanting goal, but a down and up one time, and Tyrone ran the whole route with me.
Hey, where we going, dog?
So those dudes gave me the most problems. And Booker was rough because he was so long.
Yeah.
But everyone else, it was thick. It was easy.
Folks, we have Kenny Cheatham with us. We have Kenny Cheatham with us, former Husker wide receiver, 3-time national champion. If you have a question, give us a call on the Hot of Lincoln hotline, 402-464-5685, or give us a text on the Starter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685. Kenny, you said something, and Raff's going to come in with a second. You mentioned something. You said you had to, and I typed this in, I had to learn to do the little things.
Mm-hmm.
Those little things, Kenny, like you mentioned, a 9-yard route was a 9-yard route. A 10-yard out was a 10-yard out. Like you mentioned, me and you both got away with those things in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're, especially you, not much me, but especially you were so much faster than everybody. It didn't matter. If the ball was behind you, he was going to snag it with one hand. It was in front of you, he was going to do that. You out jump the guys. At the collegiate level, like you mentioned, those little things matter. And you look at Nebraska in the past number of years, those little things, how it's been our Achilles heel. As you watch games now, and we're going to get back to, just going through the process, but as you watch games now, do you say sometimes it's the little things that have hurt us the most?
I would say it's absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Little things are not always physical, they're mental.
Mm.
And the holding calls, the bad snaps, the missed assignments, the muff punt, the interception, the untimely fumbles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a physical part that comes with that, but the other part is the mental part.
That's right.
Did you mentally break down at that point and think with confidence with throwing, am I going to make this throw or am I not?
Mm-hmm.
Or am I going to muff this punt or am I not? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's hand in hand.
That's right.
So that's what we've seen as fans, former players, happen to this team. We should be and could be much better than what we've been.
I agree.
But the difference between us, like when we played, and I don't like to say that a lot of people think, oh, you guys always go back to this time. No, the difference between us when we played and we played other teams was the mental and physical mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
We were very sound, but that's how we practiced.
That's right.
We didn't have sloppy practices.
Mm-mm.
I can tell you with certain things with football, I'm almost like Rain Man. I can tell you when Coach Osborne said this is going to happen.
Yep.
You know why? Because it happened in practice.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Arizona State game, everything you guys saw on that TV that night was happening in practice. He stopped the practice and told us, guys, we're going there. It's a late kickoff for us. It's going to be loud. You're going to be tired.
Right.
Everything that's happening here, if you don't clean it up, is going to happen in the game. And it did.
It did.
Missouri, but we overcame it.
Right.
He said this in summer before the season. We're going to go undefeated. Our toughest game is going to be in Missouri.
Wow.
It's going to go down to the wire. And he said, they run our offense and our defense.
Right.
They mirror us. It's going to go down to the wire.
Wow.
And this is where people don't give him his credit. You know what he told me before the Missouri game?
What did he say?
It's going to come down to you.
And you had 3 catches for 42 yards on that drive to win the game.
Yeah. He told me, I think we may have played Oklahoma before. And that year I was battling a strained quad.
Mm-hmm.
So it moved from behind my knee, all the way up to the groin. You know what I mean? All the way up to the thigh.
Oh, yeah.
During that season. So that's why I was limited in how I played.
Yeah.
I was getting shots every other week. I think we may have played Oklahoma before. He pulled me out of the game, and he said, I'm pulling you out of the game because we play, you know what's going on. He said, first play of the game is going to you. We're going to send him a message. But he said, this game is going to come down to you. I've never told anyone that until today.
You know what's scary about that? And classic T.O., I'm looking at the stat here. If it wasn't for Cheatham's 3 receptions for 42 yards on that drive, the play would have never happened when Matt Davidson caught it off of Chevo's leg. 3, that was nuts.
That's what I just
Yeah,
wanted
and
to
if you watch the first play of the game, AD, the first play went to me.
It went to you.
It was a low. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He said it.
No, I just wanted to bring that
And
up.
I've never
tonight,
said anything.
that you're like the person that doesn't get the credit for that drive.
Exactly.
I mean, the catch was great and all, but if it's not for you, because I think you make a big third down catch on that drive.
Huge one.
Huge. You don't make that catch. It's
doesn't
like
matter.
you said, there's no kick six or anything like that.
Mm-mm.
And I just hope Nebraska fans, like I feel like the Kenny Cheathams get forgot about with that great possession and those catches that you made to save that national championship year. The Corey Dixons the 2 Orange Bowls he played were phenomenal. And I just feel like you kind of get lost in that shuffle. And I just want Nebraska fans to know that, hey, without Kenny Cheatham, we're not.
There is no 97
there's
championship.
no 97 championship.
I'm going to encourage fans if you get a. That's real talk.
And I got receiver of the game. Nobody knows that.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I got the plaque.
Wow. KC, you think about this. You gobbled up half the field by yourself. Obviously, not by yourself, obviously, it's 10 of the guys. But I'm saying those receptions covered half the field to put us in position for the ball, for Frost to throw that ball to even get skipped off a leg to get caught. Had you don't make that big catch on that, keep that drive alive, it doesn't exist. I want Nebraska fans, if you get a chance, look it up on YouTube. You can go back. If you even just watch the last 8 minutes of the game, last 5 minutes of the game, last 3 minutes, you're going to see the contributions that Kenny made to that. Kenny, with that being said, man, you in high school, you were catching passes left and right. Okay. I mean, it was a sickening amount. And I'm looking right here, just your stats. Coach Cleveland Dansby at South Mountain High, 31 catches for 929 yards and 18 touchdowns your senior year. Earned all-state honors. Was it, now you mentioned the little things that were tough to do once you got here. Like I said, just the technical things that you had to do as play receiver at Nebraska. Was it tough for you to make the transition from a catcher to a blocker? How was that? How did that transition go?
I was hey, a lot of first on this interview. I was depressed for like 2 years.
You said depressed?
About that. Yeah, I was depressed because that was a hard transition because I was like you, AD. I was a natural receiver. I wasn't a guy who converted.
Right.
So people who, people who play football know there's certain positions that are diva positions that you have to have a high level of arrogance.
Yeah.
It's receiver and defensive back.
Yeah. You got to be cocky a little bit, man. You got to be a little cocky.
I have to get it. So when I go from I have to get it to, hey, blocking is more important than catching. Whoa, wait a minute. What's going on here? This is the transition. You mean I gave up going here to come do this? This is rough. This is a no bueno. So that was hard for me. That was part of my struggle, like I said, mentally that first year, because I'm looking at it like, man, what made it harder was me watching my friends play at other schools.
I bet. I didn't think about
that I went to high school with my high school class. My high school class in Arizona was all state, and the year kids, guys in front of me, was one of the best ever. So you're looking at Darnell Autry, Robert Holcomb, Terry Fair. You're looking at Tron Candidate. You're looking at Eric John, but you're looking at all them. I'm Eric and Mike Brown and all those guys are young, but you're looking at these other guys. You know, you get where I'm going at this school, and I'm like, my friends are playing, and I'm focusing on blocking what's going on here. So that was rough, man. That was really, really rough. And it at times I would be down about it because I was like, I don't understand. And we know Nebraska receivers didn't get the risk.
No.
People in Nebraska fans love Nebraska fans because they understood why we had to do it.
Absolutely.
But a lot, you feel like I'm not getting the respect about that. How often do people say, "Oh, Nebraska receivers"? No. And I see these guys taking passes now, and they're like, "Oh yeah," and I'm like, they couldn't hold water.
No.
But they have all these numbers because of the offense.
Right.
And people like, "Oh yeah, he's this and that." I'm like, please.
It was a different
Please.
offense. Different offense.
Yeah, different offense.
Folks, we're with former Nebraska wide receiver, 3-time national champion, Kenny Cheatham. We're going to pay some bills. We got one more segment with Kenny Cheatham. Folks, it'll be quick, as Raff says, the quickest 2 hours in television. The quickest, not television as well, but on radio.
We're live stream.
We're live streaming too. You can see it on there. We're with Kenny Cheatham, folks. We'll be back with one more segment with Raff and AD on 93.7 The Ticket.
Naloxone is a drug used to safely reverse an opioid overdose and is now more readily available in Nebraska. I'm Dr. Rob Rhodes, a Nebraska family practice physician. I encourage you to learn how to respond to an opioid overdose and administer naloxone to potentially save a life by getting the free Opie Rescue app for your phone. Be Opie ready. Download Opie Rescue.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $22.07 per hour and other select jobs starting at $23.77 per hour, with wages growing up to $29.71 per hour. Continental also has salaried jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rob Rhodes, a Nebraska family practice physician. Are you or someone you love at risk of an opioid overdose? Get the free Opie Rescue app for your phone. Opie Rescue can guide you through the steps of how to respond to an opioid overdose. Be Opie ready. Download Opie Rescue today.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Spring is here. Are you giving your yard the best chance at being healthy and green? Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn to get your sprinklers ready to go for the season if they haven't been working properly. They're also scheduling installs for new sprinkler systems if you don't have one. So make sure you contact them early to get a bid as soon as possible. Plus, they're your one place to go for 5-step fertilizer and pesticide application and lawn aeration. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. It's soul food right here in Lincoln. Ribs, wings, catfish, coleslaw, cornbread, grits. I mean, I'd say it's food like your grandma used to make, but my grandma never made food like that. If you haven't already, you've got to give it a try. Check out their location across from South Point at 27th and Pine Lake, or find their food truck at events all over town, or visit them online at maryellens.com to see the full menu. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Let them fix you a plate.
Hello, I'm Charlie Stone, back with the latest news from Honda of Lincoln. Joining me now is the general manager, Andy Goodyear. Hey, Andy, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Charlie.
Hey, Andy, with spring right around the corner, how is your supply of new Hondas and pre-owned vehicles?
Really good, Charlie. As I've said before, when you drive by our lot, you don't see what you're looking for, just remember we have hundreds of new Hondas arriving soon, with Honda continuing to offer 0.9% APR financing to qualified buyers. Plus, we have over 125 pre-owned vehicles in stock and ready for immediate delivery.
That's great, Andy. Any more great news?
There is, Charlie. Honda just announced financing from 0.99% APR on certified pre-owned Hondas for qualified buyers.
So come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
Join us at Cactus by Venue for our new America's Favorites menu. We're keeping your favorite dips and tacos and adding brand new dishes, including delicious steaks, burgers, pastas, and more. Focusing on vibrant casual dining using a blend of fresh ingredients prepared from scratch. Located at 56 and Highway 2 in the Edgewood Shopping Center, see the whole menu online at cactusbyvenue.com and order yours to go at venuedelivered.com. Cactus by Venue, America's favorites.
Now back to Riffin with Raff and AD on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, we're back again. Wednesday night, Riffin with Raff and AD. Every Wednesday, 7 to 9. AD, we're here with our special guest, Kenny Cheatham. Kenny, I've got a two-part question for you.
Okay, brother, go ahead.
All right, my first question for you is, let's eliminate the Missouri game. What was your favorite game that you played at Nebraska? And part two, if there's one thing that you could do differently at Nebraska, what would you do?
Good question.
Oh, favorite game, I would have to say Colorado for myself, 97. That was a really good game. And one thing that I would do differently would be take it, not have let my emotions get in the way my first 2 years, and try to understand why we did what we did. Because when you're young and you're doing those things, and you everyone wants to be a star, and it was a humble pill to have to say, hey, you can't do it this way, you have to do it this way, and accept it earlier. I think I would have had an easier time the first couple of years.
Yeah. Kenny, the thing I've always appreciated about you, little bro, is, man, you've always been transparent. This is how I'm feeling. Whether it's a good mood, bad mood, pissed off, upset, feeling great. You always just let people know what you were dealing with. You were just open about it, and you played loose like that too. Though I think a lot of times athletes' character kind of mimics their game, if you would.
Mm-hmm.
When you were ticked off, you played like it. I mean, if it came time to clean somebody up on the block, you was going to clean them up. And you were always a loose player. You always played loose. Speaking of that, and think about the type of, now I'm segueing this to our last part, because you think about, you were a 3-sport phenom. Now you think about that. You mentioned earlier in the interview about Adidas, the contract with Adidas. Raff, you already know where I'm going.
Oh, I know where you're going.
KC, you think about the amount of money, right, wrong, or indifferent, regardless of people, it's not wrong, first of all, but regardless of people want to admit it or not, college football is no longer college football or college sports. It's amateur sports now. I mean, it's just the way it is. It's amateur sports. Kenny, can you think about like what you would have been? Just think of a number. I just want you to think about this if you haven't already. What type of money do you think you would have made through the NIL deals that we have right now if you were playing right now?
Oh,
You would have played for free.
You hear that laugh? Kenny said,
I can't even put a number on it. Not saying it would have been that high. It's kind of hard to think that they have those opportunities, and we're like the old heads, like, oh my gosh, right. You know what I mean? So I don't know, honestly. But boy, what a time to be alive and play college sports. I'll tell you that, man.
He said, boy, what a time to be alive and play college football. Kenny,
my God,
there is a gymnast that makes a little over $2 million a year. A gymnast. Texas, Ralph? Is it Texas? LSU. $2 million. Kenny, if you're a coach today, if you're coaching right now, how would you combat? I wouldn't even say combat. That's the wrong word. How would you pivot to deal with the NIL and also the transfer portal? How would you deal with that if you were coaching today?
Ooh, you want the real opinion on that?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I think the transfer portal is great. I believe in it because coaches have we have to take away the outlier in Coach Osborne.
Yep.
Let's remove him from that.
And he's definitely an outlier.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
I'll get paid this low amount, and we do this and that. That's not reality.
Right.
These coaches have been making millions of dollars and been able to bully kids because you're dealing with people's future.
Right.
And you know what? I want to play this guy just because I want to play this guy, and I don't like this guy. Now kids can say, oh, no, I'm not dealing with that.
Yep.
I'm out of here. Now I get an opportunity to capitalize on what I'm doing. I mean, so I'm for that. I understand. I think there should be a cap on it,
right?
Personally.
Exactly.
But I understand it because coaches can leave when they want. Oh, I'm here for the kids and give you this and that and this and that. Then you get a situation like Lincoln Riley.
Yep.
And
Brian Kelly from Notre Dame.
I'm not just pointing them out, but coaches do it all the time.
Right.
But when kids do it, hey, you got to sit out a year.
Right.
That wasn't right. That wasn't right because, hey, say I'm just not happy here. Because sometimes the fit just isn't for you and you want to leave. Why hold the kid to that and say, well, I'm going to punish you a year to sit out and leave? No, I don't want to be. I'm not. People think it's always about talent. It's not always about talent. Sometimes it's just the fit. It might be the scheme. It might be a personal relationship or how the coach feels about you. That it's things other people don't see. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I see when the fans say that when the kids think, oh, he wasn't this. Well, you don't know. You weren't in there. We've had guys, AD, that played with us that
Absolutely.
left and went on to play at the next level.
Yep.
That people don't know about.
That's the truth.
So was it the talent or was it the opportunity? Man. So I'm all for it. I just think it should be a cap on it. And I think it should go more to after. They shouldn't be getting it in hand. It should be going, for once they're done with ball and to set them up for their life. You know what I mean? Things like that. That's how I see it. That's just, but I'm all for it. And I like the portal.
I'm with you.
Well, Kenny, thank you for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. We'll try to have you on again when football season starts. If that'd be okay.
Right on, my brother. I'm
we'll
here.
Definitely do it.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Little bro, much love, Kenny. Folks, this is Riffin with Raff and AD, 3-time national championship. Kenny Cheatham with us. It was a great night. We'll see you next week.
Spring is here. Are you giving your yard the best chance?